All right. Thank you, Prof. And thank you for the beautiful presentation, Tabitha. The next presenter on our fire session is Catherine Lukoba from Kenya. The stage is yours, Catherine.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, everybody. Okay, so I'm talking about the herbal industry in Kenya, and I just wanted to give a bit of an overview of the herbal medicine and herbal industry. And I thought I would just maybe also give a bit of definitions, although you probably are aware that herbal medicines are any herbs or materials that are found within preparations, herbal preparations for medicinal use, and that about 10% of all plants are used as herbal medicines. For the herbal industry, I wanted to look at that as those plants that are probably commercialized or produced for that particular purpose. And so if we look at the general herbal market, you see that it's projected to be $250 billion and increasing. And that is, of course, going to increase because of the demand for herbal. So in Africa, we've seen the number of people who use herbals is always about 70 to 80% of the population. And the herbal drug industry in Africa is really not too formalized, I would say. It's probably best at the domestic drug production. So in Kenya, it's a beautiful country, has various climatic conditions, desert, very high areas, mountainous areas. And if you look at the number of plants that are utilized medicinally, we have about 1,200. The number of practitioners, I couldn't quite work out in total how many they are, but there are documentations that we have about one practitioner to about 900 persons in the population. And if you compare that to doctors, it's about 1 to 70,000. So you can see how important traditional practitioners are in Kenya. These are some of the plants that are used as herbals, more so in the industry rather than just, utilization as medicinal plants. There are so many medicinal plants in different areas, but these are identified as the ones that are actually harvested for export or for industry. So I will call them really the herbal industry portion. So we have the prunas, aloes, the moringa. Some are, of course, not within originally from Kenya, but are actually being exported. Centella asiatica, xanthoxylum, and even Ocimum kilimanjaricum. So these are some of the herbal products that we find in Kenya, and they range from very basic herbal medicaments, as you see on the left, to more sophisticated productions like supplements, spices, and teas. If you look at the world market, these are the players that I could identify. And of these big players in the herbal medicine market, I could identify those two as actually also occurring within Kenya. But we have many herbal, practices, shops, and small industries, and many of them are actually producing, say, biopesticides that we have about. There are quite a number. These are the more important or the more common ones. So we have the saronim, and Sakil, those are name-based. Cosmetics, we have cosmetic production, and some are quite sophisticated, while some are quite basic, like the Osmam producing Naturab by one of our research organizations. These are some of the aloe products. And I chose this one because there is the second one there, the second enterprise there, it's Baringo. It's a very indigenous organization of the common people, and they came together and began to produce aloe products. Unfortunately, it died, the project died, but it's being revived, and hope that it will continue to produce some of those products. Prunus africana, well known throughout Africa, and extremely threatened because of over-harvesting. These are some of the policies that, if you talk about policy, Kenya is among the 40 countries that have some traditional medicine policies. These are some of the policies that had an effect, sometimes negative, sometimes positive, like the first one was quite negative. And we have the others that are common to the whole world, but have had an impact on the Kenyan situation. Registration and of products is also undergoing some regulation. It's not complete, and we really need more, but these are some of the policies that regulate herbal medicine in Kenya. Now, what about opportunities? There are great opportunities. Like I've seen the emergence of COVID, and I actually hoped that the Madagascar would talk about this, that they had actually come up with a drug for COVID, and that was an opportunity for them. And that is an opportunity for many others. There is also the preference of use of traditional medicine because of an affinity. It's in my community, so it must be good. And then there is a hope, of course, that new markets are coming up, particularly outside of Africa, and that would enhance medicinal use. Some barriers, actually quite a number, mainly dealing with knowledge, lack of integration, secrecy, and lack of scientific knowledge on how the drugs interact. These are some more, particularly the fact that there's decreasing agricultural land, and therefore that will cause more poverty, and therefore the need for medicinal plants. And if I conclude, I would say that what we really need, we need enforcement of rules, particularly for registration of the different herbal industry players, and there needs to be some minimum regulation. Education for herbalists is so essential, and not only for herbalists, but even for ourselves. And then Africa, we need to move together, don't get left behind, so that we are able to have a say in the herbal industry market. So thank you very much for this invitation.
Thank you very much, Catherine, for this very elaborate fire from Kenya. Thank you for the presentation. A lot has been said, and it's like Kenya really is doing well in herbal products. A lot of herbal products from Kenya. And when you were making this presentation, honestly, I was thinking of Dr. Helen and Peter. You know, what keeps coming to my mind is the issue of quality, is the issue of standardization, which is very key. Anyway, thank you so much. Over to you, Prof. Katerere. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I guess this last little exchange shows us that we are just such a small community, right? Yeah. And we hope to grow that community, But as we do that, the most important thing for us at AMS and PCA is that we grow our countries with that. You know, the herbal industry in Africa is a sleeping giant. And in my own work, we've been approached by the Chinese, for instance, saying, what kind of products can we get out of Africa into the Chinese market? Which was quite surprising for me, because sometimes you think the Chinese have everything. Actually, not really. And they're a big market. You know, the European markets are there and the African markets are there. I would like to thank you all and wish you all safety, and till the next time. So we will send out an invitation for the next meeting. Thank you.